Good evening, Kevin. It's
What
outrageous,
what
isn't it?
planet is this guy on?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's upsetting at this point because we're seeing people are dying in the streets of London. Crime is at an all-time high. Knife crime seems to be an epidemic larger than COVID. And what is he on about? Brexit and the climate constantly, the two things that he has no power or say over. The mayor of London has a very clear remit, and policing is one of them. The fact that he never ever seems to address the issue that's going on our streets, young men killing each other, young women being killed. And I think that it's quite simple what needs to happen here. He needs to focus on the police. We need more bobbies on the beat, good old fashioned police out and about. We need to stop putting silly slogans and rainbows on police cars. We need the police to be tougher. We need a police force, not a police service. We need to stop them dancing in the streets at Notting Hill Carnival. We need to stop them grinding on each other and going to pride parades. We need them out there fighting crime. It's so simple as that, really. Stop and search seems to work. Let's get them stopping young youths that appear to be in gangs. Let's see them checking them for knives. Let's get the knives off the streets.
Now, climate change, I don't agree with Boris's obsession with green policies and climate change, but I'll accept you could say that is within the remit of a prime minister. That is to do with the welfare of the country, of the nation. But climate change is not within the remit of a city mayor. What's that got to do with the London mayor? For this guy yesterday to say his two top priorities were air pollution and climate change, as you say, while people are being slain on the streets, this man is not fit for purpose, is he?
No, it's absolutely shocking and outrageous because I think what his main priority is his PR campaign. He spends a lot of our public money on his own personal PR campaigns. Everything's his name now. It used to just be the mayor of London. Now it's Sadiq Khan. Everywhere you see, he's got photographers following him around. He spends a good, I think it's over 30 grand regularly on his PR. And what we want is people. That's a salary. That's an extra cop. What we want is people fighting crime. And I think what he wants to be is the leader of the opposition. I think he really wants to be running the Labour Party from the House of Commons. He's gutted that he's been stuck in London for this long, and he didn't get to see Jeremy Corbyn out, and Keir Starmer took the seat away from him. And what we need to be seeing is addressing this issue. So, it's quite simple. Fatherlessness is a big problem in our inner cities, especially in working class communities, whether it's working class white Brits or working class Black Caribbeans. We're seeing a breakdown of the family unit. And what that results in is young men in particular looking for a place to belong, looking for a community, and they find that in gang culture. We see the statistics are out there. We see that if a family breaks down with kids that are under 18, they're twice as likely to end up in trouble with the law. It's right there in front of us. They're twice as likely to fail in school, and they're more than twice as likely to end up homeless. In fact, family breakdown is a larger contributing factor to homelessness than mental health and drugs. But we're not addressing these problems. Like I say, policing, family, two things he should be focused on, not climate, not pollution, and certainly not Brexit.
Yeah. I mean, this terrible murder of Sabina Nessa, a man has been arrested for it, of course. It comes in the wake of the terrible murder of Sara Everard. So that was several months ago. There was the big vigil on Clapham Common, which the police didn't exactly distinguish themselves at. But that's not the point. There were vast calls then for London to be made safe, for women not to be terrified to come out at night. So there was the impetus for the mayor to get cracking with this issue seriously. And fast forward to yesterday, his two top priorities, air pollution and climate change. He hasn't done a damn thing, has he?
Not at all. And what we do see when the police do act is a two-tier policing system. If you're Black Lives Matter or Extinction Rebellion, you're fine. Close the roads, do whatever you like, doesn't matter. In fact, the police will probably join you. If it's Extinction Rebellion, they'll stand and watch you. If it's Black Lives Matter, they'll join you and dance with you. Whereas if you're marching for freedom, they're going to clamp down hard. And we've seen this throughout. And I can't think that this isn't coming from somewhere. This isn't coming from the top. And he and Cressida Dick are at the top as far as the Metropolitan Police goes. But I can't put all of the blame on him. Some of it goes to our government as well, because they did close a hell of a lot of police stations, and we need more police stations to be open. So we have local cells for people to be, wrong uns to be locked away.
Well, if you keep Cressida Dick as your chief of the Met, which Sadiq Khan went out of his way to do, he extended her contract by 2 years, you're not going to get proper policing of the streets. You'll get woke policing. And the reason that she got her contract extended completely unjustifiably. She'd made a complete mess of running the Met. Woke policing was her modus operandum. But of course, she always did it exactly in the way that Sadiq Khan wanted. She did what Sadiq Khan said. So she got a 2-year extension. So do not expect that Cressida Dick is the police chief to do what needs to be done in this city, and that's to make the streets safe. She won't do it.
She won't do it. She can't do it. Like you say, she's a woke police officer. We've got 2-tier policing. We've got woke policing. They're jumping on political bandwagons from BLM to LGBTQ plus, things that the police do not need to be getting involved in. We need someone that is going to be tough on crime, whether it's the mayor of London or the head of the Met Police. One of them needs to pull their act together and stop this, because young people are dying on our streets in our capital. And it's like a third world country out there. And it's astonishing. It's disgusting. We need someone to stand up and take responsibility.
I remember back in the 1970s, New York was similar to this. I mean, it was literally a jungle of murder, knife crime, shootings, robbery, everything. And Mayor Koch, it was, he just brought in this policy, said 0 tolerance for all crime. So if a kid was caught throwing a stone through a window, they were hauled in, they were arrested, they were charged, they were put in court, every single crime was punished. And that's why New York was cleaned up. We need to do the same, don't you think?
Here. Not only that, but when we lock them away, we need to keep them locked away. At the moment in this country, if you get life in prison, you're out halfway through your service of your time just for good behavior. I think if someone gets a sentence, they should serve that sentence. Throughout COVID, we've seen time get lessened and lessened because we want to keep people out of prison for some reason. Look, prison isn't just about rehabilitation, it's also about punishment. If people are doing wrong, if people are committing crimes, they need to be locked away. We need to get tougher on this. It's like what you promote, what you permit, you promote. And that's what we're seeing in this country. We're permitting bad behavior, therefore we're promoting it. And I don't see any change happening. It's from Cressida Dick, it's from Sadiq Khan, but it's also from our Home Office. You know, we've got a Secretary of State who stands there and says tough things, but never actually follows through. We need someone who's going to be tough on crime and really punish these criminals.
Exactly. I start, for the life of me, I cannot get my head around the fact that the people of London voted this ludicrous mayor back in. But I suppose there's that inbuilt Labour thing in the capital city. We are like turkeys voting for Christmas. Calvin, it's always a pleasure to talk. Thank you so much for your time. Calvin Robinson, Conservative commentator on our ludicrous mayor, Sadiq Khan. Those streets out there are lethal, and he's doing nothing about it because he's concentrating on climate change.